Hello, radiant woman. You. All right, this is going to be good because this is real life stuff going down. As you probably gathered from the title. So I just want to start with, I am definitely 100% a believer in life has your back, right? It's all here as an opportunity for growth. Life happens for us, right? And sometimes I forget, especially when something really old gets triggered. Yeah. And let me tell you, the past few weeks, something old got triggered. Yeah. So there's this expression in the healing community, trust the trigger to teach. And it's a beautiful saying. It's true. And sometimes the trigger is so strong that my inner dragon takes over, and it's flying so fast I can't catch it, right? It's times like these where it would take some serious inner intervention to stop me from firing off a text message that I'm definitely going to regret, right? Sometimes I'm just not quick enough. I'm just not quick enough because the impulse is so strong. And I wonder if you know what I'm talking about. So let me tell you what happened. Because even though I didn't see or recognize this as a gift at first, it is a priceless gem that is taking my growth to the next level. So here's how it went down. I recently hired someone to support me behind the scenes in my business. And the idea was that her team would take care of the technical pieces, right? While I focused on the part that I'm good at, coaching, content, and running this new program, right? And I did it because, I'm seeing all these new things, right? And all these new technical things that I need to learn really quick to get this program launched. And I was thinking, sure, would be nice to get some help. And I remember, and I want to admit right off the bat, that when I hired this person, it wasn't coming from my highest, most empowered self. This was the one who hired this team, actually, was definitely my inner child. Because I remember feeling in that moment so overwhelmed with all the responsibilities of the new launch, plus everything else I had on my plate. And my friend was telling me how much she loved her support person. And the idea of it was just like, oh, yes, please take all the stuff from my shoulders so I can focus on what I know, and you can do all the stuff I don't know. So I'm really embarrassed to say, however, I just love my precious self. So it's not really as much embarrassment as it is, you know what, I'm admitting to you that I didn't even read over the contract before signing. I just trusted my friend. I'm like, she's having a great experience. I want that same experience. Here, take all my power and just do it, and let me go on with doing the things that I know how to do. Well, this is the thing, not to do in a business, right? And I know this. You don't make decisions from a place of fear or insecurity, because that's just making decisions from a wounded self. It's playing victim. It's not going to have a good outcome. I do know better, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes. I'm not going to revert, because we do, especially when we're expanding. Right? There's going to be a few steps backwards when we take big leaps forward. So anyway, this podcast is about humble pie, so stay with me. Anyway, so let's just say taking on this this person, this team, wasn't a smooth transition. I actually experienced way more frustration than I did support. And I found myself falling back into this very old narrative that was running the show for a very long time, which was, I'm not supported and I have to do it all myself. So on top of having to do all my regular, take care of all my regular pieces, I had to take on also the new pieces. Plus, I needed to micromanage this new person who we were having difficulty getting into a place of clear communication. So, oh my God, talk about serious, serious frustration. So frustrated, so frustration. So frustrated. Yeah. Ooh, I can feel it in me in this moment. Like, wow, that was such a powerful sensation of frustration. And this feeling of I'm not supported hadn't come up in my life in a while. And you know why? I'm looking back, I can see how I overlooked this, but the reason is because I've set my life up. I've arranged my life, my outer life, so that there's very few opportunities for this to come up, right? One of the big things is that I finally married a man who is incredibly supportive. So I can't really complain. There's no balls being dropped there. And I sold my business. So I no longer have anybody working under me. It's just me in my business. And so just doing those two things has really set up my life so that these kind of things don't show up until now, right? I'm stepping into this bigger level of myself by launching this program, but that I've been wanting to launch for a very long time. And it's been a long time coming, and I did it. And so I've had to step into bigger versions of myself. So here I am in this predicament. So I know full well that, setting yourself up on the outside is not ultimately of service to your higher self. What is ultimately of service to your higher self is building that support system on the inside and making decisions from that stable, supported place, right? I know this, and I didn't even know that I had strategically set my life up so I didn't have to support myself on the inside. So this situation coming up was exactly what I needed to point to the very place where I wasn't holding me. Anyway, after way too many misunderstandings, my frustration built to the point of boiling. And then And then there was this one final straw situation. And as soon as it happened, out came my inner dragon before I could do anything about it. And I shot off a text response demanding some accountability. I don't remember what I said exactly. I could go back and read it, but I'm not going to at this point. Oh. And then I heard nothing from her for 2 days. For 2 days, silence. Now, silence is a powerful thing. Silence is a powerful thing because it makes you stop and check yourself, right? And that's exactly what I did. I stopped and I went back through our communication history only to discover that I was the one who had miscommunicated this time. It wasn't even her. Oh my gosh. So the straw that broke the camel's back was actually on me. But I was already at a boiling point, and so I was just ready. It was like that feeling of like, give me a reason, right? Give me a reason, and I'm just waiting for it. Oh my gosh, Kath. Oh my gosh. So recognizing that this time it was on me, well, it knocked me down a few notches. And of course, I immediately apologized and owned that this was my mistake. And that was quite a humbling experience. And what's so amazing about humbling experiences is that it really allows for a lot of self-reflecting. And the truth is, as long as I had an excuse to blame her, well, I would have continued to give my power away to her, playing the victim. She's doing this to me, right? So if she had been the only one making all the mistakes, well, then my ego would just stay in the blame and shame and not self-reflect. And the gift of growth is always in self-reflecting. But I was on my high horse. I was so in the middle of all of it. So that moment of self-reflection was really all I needed to shift my perspective back into, well, at least turning the ship around toward empowerment. And the first thing I was able to recognize that was, I'm the one who hired her in the first place, ignoring all the red flags, right? And in truth, this situation was divinely perfect. This horribly uncomfortable experience of feeling unsupported has been the perfect opportunity for me to take a stand at the next level of inner support. And of inner support, of standing in a level of I support me and I deserve to be supported. Yeah, and it's from that place of I support me. I know what it means to be supported because I'm supporting me, that I can make a conscious adult decision on who is going to be in alignment or a good mirror for that inner support. So when I'm not supporting myself at that level and I'm in this place of, I can't do any of this. I don't know how, that like scared little girl. I don't know how to do any of this. And it's all too much. And I'm overwhelmed and all the things. And here you do it. Well, nothing good is going to come of that. It's like the person that I'm going to choose from that place of victim is going to be a direct reflection of what that little girl in me perceives as support, which is not a lot of support. And we could get into, where this story came from, because there's good reason why my inner child, has this story running. And it takes time to peel away the layers of this story to ultimately for that inner child to fully always be standing in empowerment, or to know that I am always supported. But I'm not going to get into that today. Today, what I'm getting into is this powerful opportunity of when you have a humbling experience that really takes you down a few notches, instead of trying to hide that or pretend that didn't happen, or, and just kind of continue to rack up all the evidence to keep you in victim mode, if you turn all your attention toward what that humbling experience is doing for you, well, then there's a huge opportunity to turn the whole ship around from victim to empowerment. And that's exactly what happened. I immediately took responsibility for hiring from a place of disempowerment. And I got to work on getting really clear about what support means to me, what it is that I need. And I immediately scheduled a meeting to communicate my needs with this person so that it could be shifted. And when I wasn't able to be met in that way, then I took the steps to, move in a different direction, right? One that is going to be supportive for me. So in essence, instead of playing victim to this person, which is kind of an old pattern for me in my life, it's like, it's too much, you do it. And then, you're not doing it right. You're not supporting me in the way I want to be supported. So instead of giving my power away, taking all my power back, owning it, what is it that what does support actually look like for me? And speaking my needs, and then seeing if they're able to be met in this situation. If not, then, choosing a different situation, right? So, yeah, so this has been such an incredible journey of revisiting an old wound and really taking the power back, putting the reins back into my hands, and seeing that I can approach business from a whole new way. And that is with a different underlying belief that I am abundantly supported in my life. And it's up to me to be a stand for that support. And that's what empowerment looks like. And that's the incredible work that we're doing in the Heroine's Journey program, which launched 2 weeks ago. And it's just such a gift. It's such a gift to me being able to hold this container and also transform and grow with the women that I'm holding. So if you missed this round, don't worry. We are going to be doing it again. And if you are interested in being held in a one-on-one setting, I would love to hear from you. You can go to my website and set up a call, and we can chat about what one-on-one container looks like. I would love to hear what your goals are, what your desires are, what's happening for you now in your life. So feel free to give a call, and let's talk. Until then, peace and blessings. Mwah, mwah, mwah.